Okay, it is Wednesday. It's another day, a lot like the day we had yesterday and the day before that. Not much has changed around here. Kind of a saggy, baggy trough offshore, and that is going to continue to not plague us, but to continue to bring us lessened fire danger, better air quality, and onshore winds. So we'll talk about that. We'll look at all the stuff we look at. We'll talk about surf contest. This is down at Trestles. This is lowers. And you're like, it's a pretty good day. It's 4 to 6. This is the live camera. And from Trestles, which is just kind of north of San Diego, Oceanside area. But two competitors in the water right now. And you can see the bumps, the lines. That's a southwest swell. It's a pretty solid little swell. They're getting 4 and 5 and 6 foot sets down there. And they're waiting a long time between sets. And that's those tents you see here. That's the contest. I think it'll run the contest for a few days. I don't know. It's the, oh, you know who's doing it? It's Kelly Slater. It's the, God, what's his brand called? I should know. The Rourke. Rourke? No. Outer Known? I think he's Outer Known. Kelly Slater's got a clothing brand, but he's sponsoring this event. And if you don't know who Kelly Slater is, you're not watching this. You know who Kelly Slater is. What else can we talk about? I'm kind of waiting for a set wave to come in. We're going to talk about Puffins today. We're going to talk about the Farallon Islands today. We're going to talk about some of the live cameras that you can get because I've been getting turned on. Since the birds have kind of, flown the coop but are still around, I thought, well, let's find some other cool stuff. What I'd like to see right now is, you know who this is too. I don't know if you follow surfing at all, but this for sure is... This has got to be Strider right here. So this is the guy reporting. They put a guy in the water. Because the thing about Trestles right now, it'd be packed, right? If you on a day like today, are you kidding me? So you got two guys out. Probably the best, probably right today, probably the best wave on the coast. Yeah, because of the swell direction and the size. It's bigger than up here. Santa Cruz isn't that big today. But I think this is Strider in the channel, and they film him, and he's got a live mic on. He talks about what he sees, and he has to stay out in the channel being the deeper water area. So if a set comes, it's not going to break on his head. The reef is here. You can kind of see it shallowing up. We'll come back to this. Let's come back to it, and we'll see if we can dig up some swell. Okay, this is Pacific Pier, very different. Southwest winds, deep marine layer. Yada, yada, yada. We've been seeing it for a while. And it's going to continue this way for the next couple of days. The swell's there. But as is typical for Northern California this time of year, you're not getting good favorable wind conditions. The thing about Northern California, truthfully, if you want to be a surfer, you've got to have the right wind conditions because we've got plenty of swell. This is Smith Redwood Alliance, Save the Redwoods. This is it's kind of right by Humboldt Redwoods State Park. And this is the South Fork of the Eel River. And it is moving, you can see, and just beautiful redwood trees. And again, live picture. It moves around a little bit. And it's got a better shot. I was looking at this morning, and they have some really... If you're a fly fisherman, you look at something like a feature like this right here. Well, actually, it's not doing it. Yeah, right here. Why is it blank out like that? I don't know. But anyway, you look at a feature like this, and it's a good spot to fish. Okay, I digress. This is the Farallon Islands live camera. What's so unique about the Farallon Islands? I've been out there a couple times. It's a wildlife refuge. 250,000 different bird species nest out there. It works for the birds because there's no predators. It's an island. So the birds can lay their eggs on the ground, right? These are seagoing birds generally. And they don't have to worry about predators. But I think at some point there were some concerns out there. I think they had some rats get out there. But in the old days, the history of the Farallon Islands, it used to be the folks in San Francisco during the gold rush, they would take boats out there and they would pick eggs and bring them back and sell them, right? Because, I mean, probably if there's 250,000 birds nesting out there now, seabirds, I'm sure there were many, many more seabirds back in those days. So they kind of pilfered it pretty bad. And it's coming back. It's a sanctuary now, wildlife sanctuary. One of the most interesting things about the Farallons, this camera moves too, but I'll bet it doesn't for us today. But one of the most interesting about the Farallons is, to me, the puffins, right? Puffins are awesome. They're called the clown of the ocean. They look like a toucan, but they're smaller. They can carry a ton of fish. They can fly 55 miles an hour. And here's the thing that'll get you. What do? August through April, they're in the open ocean. August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, they're in the open ocean, and they float around out there. They swim around out there, but they're not tied to the shore. And it's in August or April through August that they breed, and they breed. This is supposedly their southernmost breeding ground, the Farallon Islands. They breed here, and each puffin pair lays one egg. That's all they get a shot at. It's and they're beautiful birds. They're awesome birds. What else they do? They do something else awesome too. They can dive down for like a half a minute or so. But they're beautiful birds. Actually, I got some on here. I think we can take a look. So this is just off. These are puffins. These are East Coast puffins, live camera. But look at the colors on them. These are Atlantic puffins, I believe, which I guess are different than our puffins, but they look very similar. But that bird looks like it belongs in the Galapagos. Does not look like it belongs off our Farallon Islands. They're almost like penguins, right? No, these are puffins. Now, again, you bird guys and gals are going to crush it because you're going to go, Bill, seriously? Did you know that? Because they do awesome things. Like their beaks, I was reading, are designed to carry like tons of fish. So they like to get like anchovies and small fish that they can really load up on. But just off our coast, on the Farallon Islands, we have puffins. And I've never seen this. I was at Point Reyes, the lighthouse there you hike down to, which is a must if you've never done it. They do occasionally they show up there, which would make sense, right? But the southernmost extent of the breeding ground for the puffin apparently are the Farallon Islands. Okay. So we're just learning all sorts of stuff here. This is today, right now. Here goes the thunder shower. Temperatures today about where they were yesterday. Thunderstorms moving off. The weekend, kind of what we've been experiencing. You'll see, there's just no big changes. It's that thing we talked about with the jet stream. The pulses gliding through the jet stream. Open the marine layer up, pinch it down, open it up, pinch it down. That's what happened. Now, today you can see the pretty good burn off along the coast. Santa Cruz, you've got clearing as of about lunchtime. You've got clearing up around kind of by Point Reyes, but more towards Bodega Bay and Jenner. Cape Mendocino and Point Arena, you guys are in the sun right now. So we're getting a little bit of a break on the marine layer, and it looks like we've got all this activity, the moisture, the thunderstorm activity moving off to the south or the north and the east. And you'll see the moisture in the live cameras off the Mount Shasta cam. So here is what we look at often because we can tell a lot about what the fog's doing. It's a little shallower today, isn't it? So temperatures say maybe a little warmer. Maybe they're probably running a couple degrees warmer today, especially with the clearing along the coast, but just a little shallower and fog trying to clear. This is Mount Shasta, and those are the clouds we were just looking at. Remember, I showed you those clouds bailing to the northeast, guys, right here. That is this right here. Oh, and there's Mount Shasta, and don't you see the smoke? I do. And now I can't tell, like I don't know what kind of resolution you got on your TV, but I was looking earlier and you can see, I saw smoke. It's almost like there's a controlled burn in that area because this is lower smoke. This isn't upper smoke. So I think they might be doing a controlled burn to the north. Could we check it? Let's check it. Let's do this. We'll check it. So let's go search it, Shasta Valley. That's up towards Klamath and Weed. And then, let's see, that's Lake Shastina over here. I don't see any burns. These fires, these are awesome for wild. I mean, these things generally, in my mind, were generally set up for fire, right? It's awesome tool, especially in the fire season, which is coming on. Mount Whitney, temperatures up there today will be in the 80s. It's still pretty warm in the desert southwest. Mount Whitney, obviously, clear today. That subtropical moisture has moved on. We see where it's going, and if you're climbing Shasta tomorrow, you're fine, right? Because I know when you're going up mountains, or when you're running backpacking, I'm always a little haired out about thunderstorms. I am. There's nothing scarier than being up above 8,000 feet in a thunderstorm. Now, there's probably scarier stuff, but it's literally, I feel like it's like D-Day or something. Because, stuff can go bad fast, especially at that elevation. These are the highs from today, or for today. So Reading 93, that's almost a pleasant day. Sacramento just 85 degrees. So the inversion, cool air pushing inland, doing what it does. And then down here, where we were just at around Mount Whitney in those areas, still pretty darn hot. Buck 8, not a buck 16, but look at that, 118. Wow, just north of Vegas. Dude, that is hot. So this is today, and then this will be tomorrow. So that 118 turns to 115. It's a trend down. Reading cools a little bit as well. So this pattern, I'm not going to belabor it because this pattern is what it is. And it has been what it is for a few days. It's going to stay that way. Here is the extreme heat warning. Again, these things, this is Southern California, Eastern deserts, and then Southern Arizona. And you got Phoenix and, Phoenix and what's the other big cities? Flagstaff. I mean, you've got a lot of heat in the desert Southwest, and heat's the thing. When you have extreme heat warnings in a place like that, I mean, the upside is most people have air conditioning down there, but you really, if you're poor or unhoused, you can't get away from the heat, and it will kick your ass. It just does. It kicked my ass when I was 15. It kicks my ass now when I'm 80 or whatever I am. Not quite 80, but so anyway, that's a big one. There's some air quality stuff up here, up in Montana, a little northeast Montana. Heat advisories in these areas, red flag warnings, and out towards Burns, and then here. Down eastern Texas, just north of Dallas, you're seeing some strong weather systems, and we'll pick them up here. You can kind of see them pushing through. This is the last few hours, and these are lightning strikes, meets, radar reflectivity. You can see some of the smoke leaving, kind of getting pulled out. And what else do you see? I mean, just typical stuff. This looks pretty typical to me. And then you see the heat in the desert Southwest. So I like this angle. It's sort of a different view. This is such an awesome, I mean, the visible satellite imagery is awesome. I'm just looking at stuff now. You probably are too. Yeah, so I'm just looking for a little, sometimes you can pick out features. Like here's our feature we were looking at. That's definitely has a little spin to it, definitely has moisture, and this is definitely going to load up on Montana, parts of Idaho, some strong thunderstorms, especially since it's only noon. By 3, 4, 5 this afternoon, when the heat really gets going, the heat build up from the day's sunlight, it'll light up pretty good. So let me move this. This is GFS, and here we are. Forecast model, vorticity. Right. What do you don't need me to tell you stuff. See, tweaking through a little bit. Okay, there's some warm up. We talked about this. This is on June 14th, so this will be Saturday. Little bit of a warm up, especially south of San Francisco Bay Area, south of I-80. And then that's a big, what's going on there, dude? That's Monday afternoon. All right. So that's interesting. If that happens, that's thunderstorms. That's much cooler. That's an interesting deal. We'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll see how that works. And then progressive though. But again, I think the takeaway here is, there goes another one. Look at that. The takeaway is jet stream's pretty far south for right now, further south than we would expect. And that with it being further south, it's delivering a milder, unsettled fire, better for fire danger, better for air quality, better for dangerous heat, but definitely unusual. And I know people have, like I know San Francisco's been a little, not gloomy, but foggy. And Marin County up towards Mill Valley, it's been a little bit, right? And I know, and we like summer, and we like, just like everybody else, you like to have a little sunshine, but it's going to continue all week. So this just shows you, see the onshore winds, the corduroy, that's just showing you an onshore wind blowing this way. And these dash lines here, see those? They're being advected there. That's cooler air being pushed in from that trough, or trying to be pushed in from that trough. In this pattern, look at, nothing much changes. Day and night, day and night, day and night, day and night. This is surface now. We're at the surface. You see these things tweaking through to the north. Those are the mechanisms. Those would be, let's just call them little vorticity maximums that go through. And then so there you go. Okay, easy going. We should check back. So Pleasure Point, swell's pretty good down there. Tides are not that great. I'm gonna go down tomorrow with Bill. But it's tough because it's really, I mean, right? Especially when it's not pumping. It's better when it's mid-size like this, like see everybody hustling. When it's mid-size like this or it's kind of small, it it garners a crowd because everybody just gets bunched up together. That's a nice wave though, huh? It gets pretty bunched up. This next wave looks pretty good too. But when it's bigger, what happens is people get spread out. You just because you can't, right? You can't hold the sets blow you up. A set being a larger series of waves that come through, and they'll blow up the lineup. And so there's, if you're fit, you get waves. If you're not fit, you're on the beach. You can't keep up with the current, which is that's most people. I like it a little bigger because of that. Just because, otherwise you know what I mean. Okay, that's Halama. You know what's fun about Halama? When they first let us go up there and surf back in the 60s and 70s, and I think it was Arco, Atlantic Richfield donated the land to, I guess, Santa Barbara County or the state. But anyway, it turned into a park, a campground. It's just north of the world famous surfing spot, the Ranch, which is from Government's Point south down into Malibu area, not that far, but it's the same area, southern end of Point Conception. And when they opened, that was a real secret spot, but unreal waves, but hard to get to. But this opened up, it was like for everybody. And we're like, oh, it's going to be awesome. It's the ranch, but it's not. But the truth about Halama is they do get awesome waves, and tarantulas up the point is awesome. But the swell, it's always good, but it's good in the morning, early morning, and the wind just comes up and hammers all frickin' day. So it's a windsurf spot. And then it gets good right before sunset. And usually the winds the valley winds kick offshore again and it cleans up. But it's not the end all to end all, which we always thought it was, because it was kind of a wild, back in the day when I first started surfing in the 70s, late 70s, it was like, it's kind of like, not a secret spot, but it was like, whoa, we got this spot. Because it wasn't really surfed a lot. But most of it was optimism, because we didn't realize, we weren't savvy enough to realize that that place is a wind tunnel. The tip of Point Conception, it's like Point Reyes, right? Windiest place. Point Reyes, I think, is one of the windiest places consistently in the planet. Look at the snow melt, my friend. Yeah, told you. Look at that. Wow, when it goes, holy smokes. That was a big melt yesterday. All right, this was all snow covered. Mammoth Mountain, they're not going to stop, man. They're gonna keep us entertained for a while. 64 degrees at Mammoth, and this next shot I think will show us I think it's chair 24, goes up to the top, and I think that bad boy has got people on it. And if it's 64 degrees right now, it's gonna make it to 70. Yeah, it's got to be just slushy, especially down low. Yeah, this dude off piece, he's crushing it way up here. That's hard. That's kind of the thing. All my ski buddies, God, look at that. No, look at that. There's people going up and down, man. All my ski buddies, they're funny because I love groomers just because I'm old. And I'm not an awesome skier. I've been skiing forever, but I wouldn't say I'm awesome. But they love, off piste is the move, right? Because it just shows you can ski. Because anybody can ski groomers with the new skis. Anybody can ski groomers and look pretty good. But it's when you get off into the stuff, into an off piece. I don't even know. I should know what that means, but just into the rumbly stuff. That's how you prove yourself, your worth as a surfer or a skier. Don't know who this is, but this is camera 2. Which thank you for whoever it was that told me about camera number 2. Okay, so this camera 2. It's focused on the tree that the boys or the girls sit in. Awesome. So the babies are doing good. I watched some highlight. You can dig up some highlight videos, and they were all in the nest the other night. And the 2 babies 2 nights ago, I think, slept in the nest all night. And they're not babies anymore. They're as big as dad. But it's awesome. That's been fun. It's been fun watching them. It's awesome to watch them come back. And for me, it's sort of, I don't know. It was, besides being primitive, watching this whole egg to fledge thing for any animal, but just being, that's going to sound weird, but just being, it's an honor to get to watch that. right? And in a human's life, that's an awesome thing to see from birth to high school graduation or whatever it is. But in the animal world, that's something I've never really had that experience. I mean, I'm sure you guys probably knew about it before I did, but just to be able to see that beginning and then the loss of a sibling or an egg, and then just all the stuff, all waking up in the morning and then seeing a foot of snow on the nest, and then just kind of praying at night, hoping that everybody's okay. And then they get the sun comes out, and I mean the whole thing. It was absolutely awesome. It was absolutely awesome. I will do it again every year. This is live camera. This is Trestles. The surf contest is going on, and again, it's Outer Known, which is Kelly's company. I don't know Kelly Slater. I've met him a couple times and been around him a couple of times. He is an interesting fellow, world-class surfer, but just an interesting guy. Okay, we're not going to see any waves. Maybe I could cheat on this. Let's see. I could cheat. Let's cheat. So I'm going to go back. If you're still here, you're awesome. Ooh, set. Look at that. Yeah, buddy. Okay, let's do that. Let's look at that. Oh, look at that set. It's awesome. Well, that is straight up 6 foot. Nice rip. That's what I would have done right there, man. Look at the set, wave number 2. Go, buddy. I think it's the women today. They surf so well. These I think it's women. Yeah, that's what I would have done there too. Boom, boom. Trestle's funny. Not a great barrel. It's not a top to bottom wave. I don't even know if it throws out. Maybe the left, but in terms of, look at that thing, it's a machine just peeling off, and it just keeps opening up into the channel. And I think that's Strider over here in the channel, and then he's live interviewing and stuff. And yeah, look at that. If you get out there quick enough, you could grab that backside set. Let's watch this. Maybe, I don't know if she'll get it. Yeah, the women are amazing. It wasn't that long ago when women weren't getting barrels, really. And when I was a kid, it was like unheard of. And every once in a while, somebody sneak into a barrel, a female, and it was like, whoa. And now they surf. They kick my ass, for sure. They kick most guys' ass. Surfing's an awesome thing. I see if this goes. Sorry to drag you guys into this, but I'm in. Okay, we're good. That's the end of the set. Okay, so I'll see you. Today is Wednesday. I'll see you back here Thursday. I think we covered literally a ton of stuff. If you got any ideas for nature cams, let me know. I appreciate all your input. If you're still watching, thank you. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, subscribe. Oh, tell a friend. I'm on with, and I'm on with Tommy Tolbert. I don't know if you guys listen to KMBR back in the day. He's a professional basketball player. He's kind of a big deal in my generation deal, but he has a podcast that we're going to do Friday. I actually made a beer. I made a IPA. I make beer, right? And so my new move with the beer making is I go to sources. Like if I go fishing on the McCloud, I'll grab 20 gallons of McCloud river water, and then I'll make beer with it. Or I've done it with storms. Like if it rains a lot in a big atmospheric river event, I'll take the water and I'll make beer from it. And with this last batch, the last few batches have been from Mount Tam, which has natural springs that come out from underneath it that are just right out of the side of the mountain. So I've been tapping into that. And this beer, well, I'm going to take it over to Tommy's Friday. I think we're going to have a few beers. It'll be fun. So Tommy Tolbert, just you can Google search it. I'll put a link on here. And then these would be the next contestants getting ready to go out, right? So they're kind of waiting. I think this heat's coming to an end. Okay, I think this came to an end. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.